All right, guys, just a quick wiring tip today. This is a tip that I was taught about 20-something years ago when I was wiring my shop. And a friend of mine who's a journeyman electrician taught me this trick. And when he was an apprentice, his journeyman electrician taught him this trick. So it's been around a while. I'm sure it's no secret. I'm sure other people know it, but I found it pretty handy when I was wiring my shop. It has to do with stranded wire. And obviously most residential stuff today, it's all in Romex and it's solid copper. But if you ever find yourself working with stranded wire, and this tip will work with regular residential or commercial wiring, and it'll also work with, automotive type wiring stuff too. I'll show you an example with that here after I finish this one. But the tip is, normally when you've got, this is 12 gauge wire I'm dealing with. And yes, this is only a 15 amp receptacle, but it does say on the back it's rated for 14 to 12 gauge. So obviously you'd be using a 20 amp receptacle with this 12 gauge, but for demonstration purposes, just go with me here. Normally you have a problem getting this wire underneath this screw. Sometimes you can getting it under the screw and then wrapped around and then tightening it up. Sometimes it can really get all bird's nested and get all, it's just kind of hard to deal with. And so the trick is, let me start over here. The trick is you peel off about as much as you think you're going to need to make the connection. Then go back at it and grab about another 3/16 of an inch or so of insulation. Oop, wrong. Get in there. And slide that down to the end, but don't take it off. Leave it on the end there. I don't know if you can see that here. You leave that little bit of insulation on the end, and that'll keep your wires from getting all unruly on you. You can get that wrapped around the screw and make a good connection. You can make a good connection, and that little piece of insulation held the wires together so you didn't have to deal with a big bird's nest. And of course that trick will work too with your typical screw type terminal aftermarket toggle switches and whatever device you're working on. If it has a screw terminal and you've got just a piece of primary automotive wire, I grabbed this out of my electrical junk drawer. Ignore the color, ignore the gauge, but the same trick works on this. You just pull that down. You can give it a little twist if you want. Otherwise you just go back in for another little bit of insulation on the end of the wire there. Pull it down to the end. You can give it a twist with that piece on there. And then you can get that wrapped around your screw terminal. Just like that. And get your screw tightened up without much hassle. It'll keep your wires all neat and tidy. Now obviously I prefer, for this scenario, I prefer an eyelet, and I much prefer insulated eyelets, which you can take a pliers and rip the insulation piece off and turn it into an uninsulated terminal, which is what I prefer. And I use a piece of adhesive lined shrink wrap. But if you don't have the proper stuff and you got to make a screw connection with a stranded wire on a toggle switch like this, that little piece of insulation on the end of the strands really helps keep things tidy. And like I said, it was originally taught to me by a journeyman electrician who learned it when he was an apprentice from his journeyman electrician, actually his master electrician. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Just a quick tip to help you deal with stranded wire. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.